painful and or traumatic experiences, while incredibly challenging, can actually hold the seeds to our deepest growth. They can shape us in ways that we never could have imagined, and if we allow them to, they can lead to incredible self-discovery. You know how life throws us curveballs? I believe in the incredible human capacity to heal and grow from life's challenges. We all face adversity in life, whether it's dealing with loss, overcoming personal challenge, or navigating mental wellness. Nobody gets through this journey of life without a few storms. Welcome to Transformative Journeys. I'm your host, Johanna LeRoux, and through various challenges on my journey, including the devastating loss of my son in a workplace tragedy in 2006, I have navigated a messy path towards healing and rebuilding. It's been a journey of self-discovery that has taught me invaluable lessons about coping, healing, and transforming my experiences into tools for personal growth. Each week, I'll share my thoughts and insights and dig into strategies that can empower you to rediscover yourself, learn about transforming pain into power, building confidence to navigate life's challenges, and cultivating a life of meaning and joy. Join me on this journey of exploration and transformation. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your favorite platform and tap the bell icon to be notified when new episodes drop. Have you ever wondered how some people seem to be able to rebound from life's challenges and tragedies, and others seem stuck, deeply unhappy, but not able to move forward? This week, I want to delve into what I call rising from our darkest moments to find purpose and strength, using the lessons we've learned when bad things happen in life to move forward with intention and to find purpose again. So let's dig into that. Welcome back to Transformative Journeys with Johanna, and guess what? I'm Johanna. This week, we're going to be talking about what it actually means to build from the ashes, moving forward with purpose. And when I talk about building from the ashes, I'm referring to learning from our most challenging or painful experiences and taking those first steps to transform our life into its version 2.0. Using the wisdom and insight we gain from those challenges to transform us into stronger, more resilient, and ultimately more compassionate versions of ourselves. Today, I'm going to start by sharing a deeply personal story, one that forced me to reinvent part of myself and which has profoundly changed who I am now. 19 years ago, I lost my 22-year-old son to a workplace fatality, and that first year was spent in a deep, ugly, dark pit of grief, where I felt, if you could call the utter numbness at the time, feeling like I was watching the world happen around me from underwater or maybe from inside a bubble. Nothing felt real except the pain I was feeling from losing my son. It was and is almost indescribable. And sometime during that first year, I learned to wear what's sometimes called the mask of grief. I went back to work. I shopped for groceries, paid the bills, attended family events and neighborhood get-togethers. I got my daughter ready for her graduation. I basically walked, talked, and functioned on the outside in all the socially appropriate ways. I smiled and said thank you when people told me how strong I was, how well I was doing, all while in truth moving back and forth between excruciating pain and just feeling empty. Empty, empty, empty. This deeply affected my parenting. A huge dose of mom shame. It affected my marriage, and it affected most of my friendships. Not only did I no longer feel like me, but I hardly felt at all, except for the pain of losing my son. And please don't think that I didn't love my daughters through this. Here's another, heaping helping of mom shame. I did love them, of course. I loved them so much that alongside my pain, the one feeling I did have was an absolute terror of something happening to one of them too. But, and this is a big painful but, I was inside that bubble. They were on the outside of that bubble, which, as my younger daughter put it years later, meant that to them, I was almost as far away as their brother was. The journey from there to here has not been an easy one. Slowly at first, and in the early years, still very, very conscious of my broken heart. I found ways to navigate through the pain. I found support systems that worked for me. I discovered coping strategies, and I learned how to grieve in a healthy and, dare I say it, even productive way. And I'll be getting into some of those actual strategies that helped me, as well as others, in future episodes. But 19 years later, I'm not only happy and able to feel peace and hope and joy, I have found a sense of purpose. That mask, it's tucked safely in a box in the back of my heart, and every now and then I open the lid a little and peek inside, just as a reminder of how far I've come. Because I am a stronger person now. Grief or internal pain of any kind not only looks different on the outside for everyone, but the experience itself is also vastly different for everyone. But to pack your feelings into a box, shut the lid, and pretend to be getting on with life is neither healthy nor is it productive. You have to allow yourself to feel all the feels. You have to let yourself feel all of the emotions that you might be going through while learning healthy coping strategies to help you move forward, because that's a crucial first step in any healing process. Painful and or traumatic experiences, while incredibly challenging, can actually hold the seeds to our deepest growth. They can shape us in ways that we never could have imagined, and if we allow them to, they can lead to incredible self-discovery. And I believe that you really can't move forward until you acknowledge your grief or your pain, and you actually allow yourself to do the hard and shitty work of feeling it. Over the past 19 years, I have met lots of people who have turned their tragedy into purpose. Each of them have unique stories founded in pain that they chose to use to make a positive impact and to inspire change. People who have lost the life that they knew as a result of a life-altering injury, people and their families who are living with the outcomes of an illness that have changed their life and will ultimately shorten it. People who are grieving family members who have died, and many of these people are now using their voices to try and prevent what happened to them or their family from happening to other people. their lives are examples of what resilience and transformation looks like. But to get there, they all had to take that first step. And each of us, no matter what the source of our pain is, we have a choice. We can let our experience, our tragedy, our pain, we can let it defeat us. We can let it destroy us. We can let it define us. Or we can let it refine us. And make no mistake, it is often not the easy choice to make, but choosing to learn and grow from our experiences can lead us to discovering strengths we had no idea we had and take us down paths that we never could have imagined ourselves on. But there comes a point where you have to make a conscious decision about where you want to go from here. Are you going to let your loss or your trauma define you or defeat you for the rest of your life? Have you decided that this, whatever this is now part of your identity? Or are you going to enable it to shape you and who you are moving forward, but in a meaningful and positive ways that, can maybe help you make a difference in the world? Sometimes that decision might be instinctual for some people. Other times you'll need to maybe spend some time, going inside yourself and deciding how it's changed the way you view the world and how you could see yourself using it to help others. And that decision, making that choice, is the foundation on which we start to build from the ashes. And although it's the first step, it can be a big one. I always talk about baby steps and how I'm a firm believer that as long as you're trying to step forward, baby steps are just fine. And after making that decision that I was not going to let my loss and my grief define me, many of my steps forward were baby steps. But I will admit to you that making that choice to take my deep grief and pain and direct it into something positive, that was a big step. And I didn't do it alone. One of the best steps I took was to become involved with an organization that not only supported my grief, but shared tools for healthy grieving and strategies for helping me cope, and provided me with an opportunity to become an advocate for change. It's really difficult to build a house on the foundation all by yourself. I'm sure there are people who do it, and kudos to them, but I'm pretty certain it would take a lot longer to build it alone. So through the worst experience of my life, I started to see myself in a different way. I began to ask myself how I could use my experience to serve and to help others. It was the journey from the ashes of my former life to a place of resilience, strength, and purpose. The place where I feel like I am now. And out of my journey, among, many other things, Transformative Journeys was born. And I hope it will be a way I can help others navigate their own path to healing and purpose. And although it's just in its infancy, my hope is that some of the insights and strategies that I share can help other people navigate life's challenges, develop better mental wellness, and cultivate resiliency for themselves, helping them move forward towards healing. So if you're interested in learning more about how you can transform your own journey, stay tuned for upcoming episodes or pop over and visit my website at transformativejourneys.ca. You'll be able to subscribe to receive notifications when a new podcast drops. And I will send you my insights for navigating grief absolutely free, because who doesn't like free stuff? Today we explored the concept of transforming pain into purpose, rethinking letting our experiences shape us versus using our experiences to shape our future, and taking this sometimes difficult first step, making that decision to begin to heal and grow, and channeling our pain into something greater than ourselves. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. If you enjoyed it or think it would be helpful for someone you know, please share it or leave a review. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd also love to hear your stories about building from the ashes and finding strength and purpose. You can find me on Instagram at transformativejourneys.johanna. Also, hit that subscribe button on your favorite platform and tap the bell icon to be notified when new episodes drop. Next time, I'm going to be talking about finding yourself and finding your why. When we go through something that profoundly changes our lives, we can feel like we've lost a part of ourselves. Discovering something that drives us and creates a sense of purpose or meaning can help us rebuild our identity and move forward on our healing journey. So until then, this is Johanna reminding you that it doesn't matter if you fall. What matters is how well you bounce. This is Transformative Journeys. See you next time. Hey, just a disclaimer, this podcast is for entertainment and informational purposes only and should not replace the advice of a medical or mental health expert. I am not a licensed counselor or therapist. In fact, I don't have a degree in anything, and there are no fancy letters after my name. I'm a full-time student at the School of Hard Knocks, University of Life, where I figure I'll graduate when I take my last breath. In other words, I'm just Johanna, a fellow human being on my journey through this thing called life, and your guide on this transformative journey.